I am Courtney Martinelli and I have Shauna Michaels with me. Shauna is the director of Reiki at Shine, Ohio. Hi, Shauna.
Hi, how
How
are
are
you?
you doing?
Yeah,
Good.
I'm doing good too.
So excited to have you here. So we have a lot of people interested about Reiki. In fact, during our open house, uh, more than anything, people wanted to know about Reiki, right? Asking
Yeah.
questions. So we thought we'd just jump on a podcast and have a conversation about
Yeah.
Reiki.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love Reiki. So
I
this is
know. It's
perfect.
like our favorite topic. Maybe we'll even talk about energy and vibration, which is essentially Reiki. But yeah,
Yeah, totally.
all right. Well,
Oh.
Shauna, the first question I'm going to ask you is, tell me, like, what inspired you to get started on Reiki?
Mm. I do love sharing this part of it because I do think it's similar to how other people have started their Reiki journey, their Reiki path. I was going through a really difficult time in my life and um, searching for answers, was just like physically. So I was seeing all these doctors and it was like doctor after doctor, test after test, and we really couldn't come up with any answers. And I think that was like stressing me out. So I was making it even worse, being so stressed. And then someone suggested to me to try Reiki. And at that point, I'm like, I will try. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to try it. I want to try anything.
Isn't that funny how that happens? Like a lot of
Yeah.
people that come to us, it's like they've tried everything else, and then like Reiki's almost like the last resort,
I
right?
know Reiki should not be the last resort. I actually was thinking of that. Like if Reiki should, if everybody just did Reiki first, I just can't even imagine what my path would have been if I would have started there instead of ending with it. But
Yeah.
however we get there, I got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just like went to a session. I'm so analytical in the way I think too. So it was like that's my whole background is technology and being analytical. So I was a little skeptical, but I was like, I'm gonna try this. So I went to a Reiki session and all I could say is I felt better when I left than when I got there. Like I didn't understand what it was about, but enough that I just kept wanting to go back. I just kept wanting to feel better. And that's what it did for me. It just like gave me, calmness, and I was able to just be more centered. And I just kept going back for my Reiki sessions.
Yeah. I don't know if this is too personal of a question, so
No.
you could always just say pass. Like,
Oh,
what what was like because I think sometimes identifying because we know, you and I know, and we
yeah.
we explain in Reiki 1, not that we can't explain it here, but it's like a whole big thing. We know that Reiki is raising your vibration. So no matter what ailment you're suffering from, physically, mentally, emotionally, Reiki is the answer on many
Yeah.
levels. What was it that you were physically going to the doctor for and suffering from?
Yeah, I was having these weird it started like pain like going like in my hip, but going down my leg, across my arms and my shoulders and down my arms. And they like, I kept getting tested. Like they were just testing me for everything, like MS and I mean like crazy things they were testing me for, and everything was coming back negative. We couldn't figure out what was going on, and then my lab works was so far off. It was really odd. You know what? To this day, we still don't know what was going on. Like we still don't have an answer for all that.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many different doctors I went to, like neurologists and a lot of specialists,
Wow.
and couldn't find out what was going on. And I also
Shauna,
think I
oh,
crazy, huh?
Shauna, I didn't know this story. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like shocked in hearing this because I literally didn't know this because I think, gosh, if I had to think over the last 15 years working with, thousands of clients and students through Reiki, I would say more than half are seeking Reiki for maybe more a mental and emotional things like anxiety and stress, which it's all interconnected, right? It's all
Oh,
interconnected.
yes.
But for you to have actually this physical thing going on with your body, never figuring out what it was. And then you started going to Reiki and you started receiving relief from it. So now I'm asking you questions that I really don't know the answers to. So it just like eventually went away. Is that correct in saying that?
Yeah. I mean, yes. But I mean, it
Yeah.
was like I did work. 'Cause I also feel like I had to be emotionally, because, you're so stressed when you don't know what's going on
Yeah.
either. So I know I was adding to it as well. And then Reiki was something that also helped me just be calm and centered and allow my body to do what it needed to do for itself, allow it to heal itself,
Yeah.
which was just amazing to experience, you know.
How many Reiki sessions would you say that you went to before becoming attuned? And we'll talk about that in a second, but how many did you go to before you started
Oh,
attuning,
maybe
like practicing on yourself?
probably 10, something like
10.
that. Yeah, I would say 10.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that that's the beautiful thing about Reiki is
Yeah.
it's so empowering because once you get attuned, and an attunement and the training that goes along with the attunement that we do and other people do, it's usually the cost of like 2 or 3 Reiki sessions, and
Oh, yeah.
then you can do it to yourself and you can do it
Yeah.
to your family and friends, and that's like very early on in my career with Reiki, I realized I wanted to kind of focus on getting people attuned and going through the training so that they didn't need to rely on me, right? They could rely on themselves to be their own healer, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I never even thought to learn Reiki. It was the practitioner that suggested it to me. She's like,
Yeah.
you really should learn this. And I'm like, oh, wow. I never even thought of that. Like, I can learn this. You
That's a
know?
good practitioner because,
Yeah.
sometimes people, well, I won't go into that, but sometimes people are like, no, just keep coming to me. Just keep
Yeah.
coming to me. I start to mention Reiki training in like 1 or 2 sessions because I'm just like, like
Yeah.
you want real life changing experience, like you need to come and get attuned and learn how to do this for yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
I
you can
love
do it
that
every day.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what we teach to lay hands on yourself every single day, to
Yeah.
right. And why, Shauna? Like, do you want to like spend a second talking about like why? Because
Yeah.
about the raising of the vibration.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because it is raising your vibration. I mean, I think that's such a huge part of it. I mean, because Reiki honestly isn't just a modality, it's a way of life. And so I feel like doing that, like Reiki every day. I mean, just for me, I start my day with Reiki, I end my day with Reiki, and then I'm sprinkling it all throughout the day. And it's so natural. It just seems like part of what I need to do. And it keeps me calm, it keeps me centered, it's raising my vibrations. Um,
Yes.
just so, I just have a better days with it.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the difference, like sometimes throughout the years, I've seen people's lives completely change through Reiki, like mine, like
Yeah.
yours. Like I can name a lot of people, that we know that their lives have completely changed. And I think the difference is when they treat it as like a Reiki as a lifestyle choice, like a totally
Yeah.
different, just like yoga is like, that's what I always say. Like yoga is not a 60-minute class that you go to. Reiki is not a 60-minute session that you go to and have somebody do
Yeah.
something to you for 60 minutes. It truly is a lifestyle. But, you know, I don't want to get ahead. Like if somebody's like listening to this and they're all new to Reiki, just take the, there's
Yeah.
like talk about all the ways that they can experience Reiki at Shine. Like if they're wanting to like dip their toes, they're like, I'm not really sure if I want to go to the certification or the training. I just
Yeah.
need to know what it is for a second. Like explain some of the ways that they can come
Yeah.
in easily.
One of my favorite, well, it's all my favorite.
I know,
But
right?
one of the
I
things
know.
we do are our Reiki shares or energy circles. Um, I just love that because those environments, when we have those sessions, it's people that are like new to Reiki to like Reiki masters that are coming to this together. So it's really neat that we're all together and just hearing the questions that people ask, the loving support from the other people that have already gone and started this journey, is just really kind of neat. And actually, one of my favorite stories is from a Reiki share where somebody very new to Shine came in. You know this story. And she's sitting there listening to everybody and just asking questions. And then she said, what is this journey that everybody is on?
That was one of my all-time favorite
No,
Reiki
I know.
circles.
I know.
Yeah, it
What
was
is
like
this
magic
journey?
in the air.
I
Yeah.
know, I know. And then we're like, welcome to your journey. It was
Yeah.
like, I was just so cool because what I loved about that too was that she couldn't really place words on what was happening. She just could experience and feel that there was just, I don't want to say magic in the air, but almost like magic in the air. Oh no, we froze. I just saw you move. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening.
I know. Take two. We're just going to jump right back in. We're
Okay,
just going to jump
good.
right back in. So we're at this energy circle. If you were listening to part one, this is part two. We left you hanging. We left you hanging.
I know.
Um,
I know.
so part two, like, okay, so she was saying, what's this journey that
Yeah,
y'all
what's
talk
this
about?
journey? And I love that she couldn't really she could feel that something was happening, but she really didn't have words for it. And I just
Yeah.
thought that was kind of beautiful because that really kind of how it is. It's just something that you feel and you may not always have the words to express it. And she definitely felt that.
Yeah. So
Like the
here's what
start
I'm
of her
going to
journey.
Yeah, I actually, we're going to talk about the Reiki clinic here in a second. I actually surprised that you said your favorite thing was the Reiki circle because I thought you were going to say the Reiki clinic because,
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite too.
yeah, all right. That's the thing. Like, I'm not going to make you choose between your favorite babies.
Yeah.
But that when we have the Reiki clinics, Sean and I will go back and forth like a million times a day and talk about like we'll voice memo each other and be like, today's Reiki clinic day. Like
Oh,
we just like are so excited about it because there's a lot of magical things that happen at Shine at the Lighthouse, but gosh, I can't put my
yeah.
finger on it or words to it, but it's so magical. I want to say it's like more magical than the training or the cert. I mean, it's all
No,
magical, but
yeah.
it's so magical. But here's what I want to say about the circle before I have you talk about the clinics.
Yeah.
I love what you said, why it's your favorite, because it's conversations with people that are just stepping into Reiki. There's people, Reiki masters, that have been doing it for decades. And it's always the exact right people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And growth can be messy. And to have the support of a community and feel that love is just so beautiful. It's so, so beautiful.
It really is.
Yeah. And what I also love about our Reiki circles is we very intentionally tack them onto the end of a workshop that we're already having at Shine. So maybe it's yin and meditation, maybe it's yoga nidra. So it's like you can come to that workshop and really get into like a headspace of, alpha and theta brain states and like leave the external world behind and then stay after and just then be involved
Mhm.
in the Reiki share circle. So I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about the clinic, the Reiki clinics for a
Okay, which
minute?
is also my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like every time there's a Reiki clinic, I'm always texting you or sending you a message after about, I always use the word magical too. I feel like I feel like I have to come up with another word, but that's how it feels. It is like I just love it. I love it. I love that day. I mean, I love the whole day, just even preparing for it. And then what we do with the Reiki clinics is that we take our newer practitioners that are just starting out, and but they could be master level as well, but they just want more practice, and they come in as a practitioner. And then we have people that sign up to be our clients, and we have like 4 or 5 spots. Like a 6 o'clock and a 7 o'clock spot. And then our practitioners are able to practice in this like supportive, loving environment. So they come in a little early. We chat. I answer all any questions that they might have as a group because we all have like learn off of each other, which I love that because everybody has such like beautiful things to share. And then we do they have 2 clients that come in and then they share with they give Reiki to these 2 clients. And then after we like talk about it again about what they experienced.
Yeah.
And I love it because they always come in like with just like their confidence is a little low, they're a little timid. They have so many questions when the practitioners first come in.
Yeah.
So nervous, but they leave so confident. They're just that transformation and that little bit of time they're with us is just huge. It's just really
Yeah.
huge.
So I want to hit on a bunch of things that you
Yeah.
said because you're sharing from this perspective or the story of the practitioners, right? And
Yes.
then there's also people that are receiving that, which we'll talk about them in a second.
Yes.
Because if you're new to Reiki, you can actually come, and we'll talk about that in a second, and actually
Yeah.
receive Reiki in this like kind of like a group setting, even though you're receiving individual attention. But what I love what you said was, I wrote it down. You said, sometimes it's new practitioners or sometimes it's it's our master students, like Reiki masters.
Yeah.
And the thing I wanted to say about that is I think there's this misnomer about, you go through the certifications, there's Reiki 1, there's Reiki 2, then there's master training. And sometimes if you don't have the practice, right?
Hmm.
You're not practicing on people, you aren't getting the experience and the confidence that you need, even though you're moving through the training.
Yeah.
What we've seen, Shauna, and what we know from experience is that Reiki clinic and getting the opportunity to practice on people that you don't know. And the reason why that's important, you learn about it in Reiki 1 about working with people you know and working with people that you don't know. When you get that opportunity and you start to build those reps, it's going to give you this confidence that we like to call imposter syndrome. People come to Reiki too and they have imposter syndrome. So, anyways, my point to sharing that is that it doesn't matter if you've been through level 1, level 2 Reiki master, without the experience that we're providing in the clinics. You can still feel a little unsure about your competence with Reiki, which is why we have the clinics. We want to provide an opportunity to people to get the reps in, to provide the competence so that they can get the confidence.
Hmm. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I see it time and time again.
In
Like
the most
it's
loving,
amazing.
supportive environment. That's what I would tack
Yeah.
on to that is that I think people should be getting the experience in any way they can, but to be able to do it your first time in this very supportive, because even the people that come to the Reiki clinics that are receiving Reiki, they're so supportive of our practitioners and the whole
Yeah.
process.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's amazing. I know we're going to talk about the clients too, but when they come in to receive as well, I mean, all of their experiences, what they share with us at the end of a session is just so beautiful. Like their connection, what they felt. And I know that like we're saying it's a group, but it's individual because it's an individual session.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just so personal and it's just so amazing what they go through, like their
Yeah.
experience, like
So
every time.
it's one practitioner to one client. So you
Yes.
are laying on a table, but it's just in a clinic format to where Shauna, the director of
Yeah.
Reiki, can make, in case anyone has any questions or anything like that.
Yeah.
I will share that my husband comes to most of the Reiki clinics at Shine, and I mean, he comes back and let me just give context about my husband. He is, I don't even know how to describe him other than saying he's like an old soul, but he's not into these kinds of things in the way that, Shauna and I geek out about it. But he will come back and be like, he has the most amazing spiritual experiences down there. And these are
Yeah.
new practitioners, which just goes to show you that a new practitioner can flow Reiki the same as somebody like Shauna and I who have been doing it, for years and decades. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, for sure. I know we love having him.
yeah, you're so
He's
sweet.
just such a
He loves
calm
being around.
energy in there. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is awesome. Guys,
yeah,
one time we even had a storm coming through and we're just like, oh gosh, do we stop? Like our phones were going off with warnings of this storm and nobody, and I asked, I said, this is what's going on. And everybody's like, no, we don't want to stop. Keep going.
yeah.
Like the clients, practitioners, everybody was like, let's not stop.
Oh, and man, when it's storming down there at the lighthouse, it just makes it even more magical. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
and you're right. We need to come up with a different word, but that's like the best word to
I don't know how else to
describe it.
explain it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, you need to experience it. I think,
Yeah.
more than anything, what I want to happen during this podcast is I want people to just feel safe and at ease to come into any of the options that we have for Reiki. Like if you're just a
Yeah.
little nervous, I remember the first time I went to a Reiki session. I won't tell my story, but I was very, 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 very in a dark place. And so it was like kind of a last resort for me too. And I was super nervous.
Yeah.
And I remember being super nervous. And if we can just ease your mind that it's okay to be nervous, but just know that we do everything we can to make you feel safe and supportive in any way. No question is dumb. No, like we're just here to just help you in any way that we can.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. And really, I think that's one of the biggest things that holds people back is they don't know where to start. Like it
Yeah.
just seems like such a like a I didn't know where to start. I was looking for guidance as well from my practitioner, like, okay, now where do I go? What do I do? And
Yeah.
she's like, you should go to Shine. And that was the first time I walked into the door was with the Reiki 1 training. And I didn't know. Like I kept thinking, I had a little bit of that too, where I was just like, almost like, who am I to be sitting here doing this training? Like, am I like at a place in my life, where, am I calm enough? Do I know enough about Reiki to be sitting here and even in the Reiki 1 training? But now looking back on that, I was just like, oh gosh, yes. Yes. Reiki meets you wherever you
Oh my
are.
gosh. Yes, Reiki. Thank you for bringing
Yeah.
that up because I remember this was 15 years ago when Reiki wasn't as mainstream as now. And I remember asking my Reiki master, who was just performing Reiki on me, um, can anyone do this? Like, I was so naive and had no clue that I didn't even know anyone could do it. I thought it was like something you were born with. And so, yeah, it meets you where you're at. And I think
Hmm.
as long as you're open to the journey, again, there's that word again, that
I
journey,
love that
I think
word.
it's a right fit for you. And I think that you're going to show up exactly when you need to show up. And we don't question that anymore. Like you are there when you're supposed to be there. Whether you're very far advanced into your spiritual journey or you're just starting out and you feel nervous about it, I think jump in. The water's warm. Like
Yeah.
jump in
Yeah.
wherever you're at. Um, there was something else I was gonna say, and it was like a fleeting thing. So, but yeah, yeah, jump in.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that we have so many ways to support people, from the circle, like doing the energy circle to the Reiki clinics, which help with anybody if you want to experience a Reiki session or if you just want to practice Reiki to all the certifications we offer. Like we definitely have offer
It's
people a lot.
comprehensive. We have a comprehensive program,
Yes.
for sure. And it's a comprehensive vetted program that we've been doing for 15 years. And I would also say, like, we offer CE credits for nurses and for yoga
Mhm.
teachers and for massage therapists. And so we've had to vet that with different professional organizations. And so, yeah, it's a very, very comprehensive
Yeah.
program. I remember what I was going to say. It's like when I said you show up when you're supposed to. So we have somebody that comes to yoga every single week. And if you're listening, yes, I'm talking about you. And he's always like, I can tell he really, 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 he suffers from post-traumatic stress syndrome from being overseas, like being in our military overseas. And he comes to yoga for that reason and love and adore him. And I'm always just like, you need to come to the Reiki clinic. You need
Oh,
to come.
yes.
And I know that I could feel it that he wants to come. But I think again, back to that point of like being like nervous, like going into the unknown of not knowing what to do. So we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you just to jump right in. But
Yeah.
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 So Shauna, what else would you want to say to anyone listening? Like, what else would you want to share?
Oh gosh, there's so much. Well, real quick about all the things we offer. What I love about that too, which I know we talked about, but I just want to make sure people understand that it's like whatever level you're at. So if you just want to like try it because you're curious and you just want to try Reiki, we offer that. If you are all in and want to become certified, that we offer that too. So I think that's like important. Like not to feel overwhelmed, like where to start, just like there is a starting point for everybody. So I just kind of want
Yeah.
to mention that real
It's
quick.
so funny that you said that because we didn't even mention that we offer one-on-one private sessions, right?
Yeah.
Like we forget
Yeah.
about that. I think it's more a lower price point to come to our clinic. So that's why we usually say that to people, like it's a lower price
Yeah.
point. It's less than half of our private sessions. But yeah, if you want to just come and have a session with like Shauna, you can come and get a
Yeah.
session with Shauna. And I don't know if you mind me throwing this out there, Shauna, but like I
Mhm.
think, we can also do discover like a 15-minute discovery call with you if you want to have a conversation just with us personally too.
Oh, I love
I'll
that.
actually drop that below. All these links will be dropped below. You can find us at shineohio.com. And then our Reiki is shineohio.com/learn Reiki. But
Hmm.
I mean, I'll drop a bunch of links below, including a link to a discovery call if you want to
Yeah.
talk with Shauna or myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about everybody that's going to be listening and starting their journey, their Reiki
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah. Anything else before we end part two,
No, I
before
don't
we
know
get
about
cut
anything
off again
else.
because of
I
technology?
know, I know. I can't think of anything else to add. I mean,
Mm,
and just for me, I just reflecting back on Reiki and just not only how much it's impacted me, but everybody around me in my life, and just seeing like that ripple effect of learning Reiki and sharing Reiki and just
yeah.
how far it travels is really cool.
Shauna's life and my life are not the same after Reiki, and that's not an understatement. Like our entire lives are completely different from relationship, professionally, like what we do
Yeah.
for a living. Like everything has changed because of the
Yeah.
Reiki journey. And that doesn't have to be you. It could just be like, you feel better. So my last thing I'll say is the time is now. The time is now.
Yeah.
Do it now. Jump in. We're here for you. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here, Shauna. This has
Oh,
been
thank you.
absolutely the best.
Yeah.
And catch us next week. We're going to be actually talking about animal Reiki. So
Yeah.
if you want to learn about treating your pets with animal Reiki, we'll jump into that more on our next podcast. So just bye for